What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Doug. I kind of thought that I had gotten sick of Hades, but I've decided that I haven't. I watched a few videos from a speedrunner, and I'm feeling like I'm back, so to speak, as your friend and mine, John Wick, might say. I want to do a run with Aspect of Rama. I'd really like to show it off. Aspect of Rama is one of the most... I think it's probably one of the coolest designs in the game. I don't think it's one of the most powerful aspects necessarily, because it's quite unwieldy, but that's not to say it's not powerful in the abstract. You can probably do, more powerful stuff with Rama than you can do with basically anything if you're in the right circumstances. So I look forward to showing that off. Basically, the gist of it is the special is this thing here that causes debuffs on anything it hits, and you can see it's ricocheting off the primary target so it can hit other stuff in a room. So anything with that debuff, and I think the debuff lasts about 8 seconds or something, whenever you deal damage to a target, the debuff will cause everything with the debuff, including things that don't get hit by the regular attack, to take a portion of that damage, which is 60% of the attack damage. So even ignoring the fact that you're doing damage to stuff that you're not hitting, it's a 60% damage boost on a weapon that already has very high base damage. You can see I'm doing, was that 125? I'm not sure if that's power shot damage, but I'll just double check that. That was not a power shot. Yeah, 175 damage with a power shot. And you can see it clearly charges slower, but it's a lot of damage, and even if you don't get a power shot, it's a lot of damage. And when you're multiplying that by 60%, just for the primary target, you're doing a shitload of damage. And when you've got a bunch of targets with a debuff, especially if you're hitting multiple targets with the attack, that debuff is going to strike multiple times if you're hitting multiple targets. So you're really doing an outrageous thing, especially to packed rooms with Aspect of Rama. So really looking forward to showing this off. No particular boon I'm desperate to end up in, so I'm just going to start with Pom Blossom again. It is very nice to end up in crit, just because, anything with bursty damage is good for crit. Especially since, doing critical damage will also multiply that debuff damage as well, which you can see showing up in blue if you want to tell what the damage is there. But really, anything that lets us do big damage with this weapon is alright by us. So, we've got our kind of standard heat package on, and we're going to need a little bit more, so we've got some interesting choices to make. Damage control is actually kind of interesting, because we're planning on, doing a few hits on enemies to start with our special anyway, which the damage itself of that doesn't matter that much. My concern with damage control is I'm not sure if it will prevent us from applying the debuff with our hits until damage control is over. I think that it will, but I'm not 100% sure, and to be honest, I want to give it a try. So this might make our life more difficult, but yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. So yeah, I might just check the mirror as well. I don't think there's anything I'll really want to change, but yeah, I really like the extra damage from Boiling Blood, considering our damage is getting multiplied by that debuff. So that is pretty nice. No, Fiery Presence isn't going to do us any good, since we're running that damage control. I've been thinking about trying Deep Pockets, which is why it's selected there. I ran it in my previous run, and didn't realize I didn't have it leveled at all, so let me level that up. And yeah, I think I'll have a crack at Deep Pockets. I kind of badmouthed it before in my original video, saying, Golden Touch is pretty much always better. I'm coming around on that a bit, because I was watching a video from someone who's very good at Hades who said it was better, and he made a reasonable argument in, that the ability to take advantage of that first shop, if you can be, big swing. And I'm not one of these people who avoids shops at all costs, so I'm certainly not, a die-hard Golden Toucher. So let us go and see how things go here.
Never lay hands upon Gaigaro's boy, ever again. The power That spear can tear you to pieces further than the ones to which some of your ancestors were once reduced.
Not allowed to touch Dad's toys. Big boy's toys. I mean, that spear is way too big for me, to be fair. I wonder if it's like Dungeons and Dragons weapons where they like resize to suit you. This is a bit of a spoiler, but yeah. Okay. Drunken Flourish I quite like here. Drunken Strike is an absolute no-go. We want as much damage as we possibly can on our attack. Yeah, Drunken Flourish, since we're doing a lot of hits with our special on single targets, it's pretty good. Drunken Dash as well, it's not inspiring us. And I'm not interested enough to reroll for something. Theoretically, I could reroll for, Dionysus Cast, which is really strong, but no, just Drunken Flourish I'm happy enough with. Okay, now I wanted to test the debuff, but I guess when things have two hearts on them, it's hard to tell since the special fires like 5. So we're going to have to test the once we've got multiple enemies, where the ricochets are going to be... The ricochets are really the factor I'm concerned about, with whether or not they'll be able to apply the debuff when I'm just getting 1 or 2 ricochets on an enemy. So we'll just have to wait until they start giving us rooms with more enemies to be sure what the outcome is here with the thing. Not really getting much of a chance to show off aspect of Rama's power here, but I'm sure that you'll see it very soon. Yeah, I'll try and skip those dialogues, just because they will be... Floodshot I really like here. Floodshot I think is just a really great tool for filling out any build. Poseidon's Aid is also really strong, especially if you can get the tier 2 boon for it. But just to be honest, Floodshot has just served me so well in so many runs. I'm just going to take Floodshot. So we got the option of Chaos, which is very appealing. Otherwise, Heart or Palm. I think grabbing a Chaos early on can give you some interesting direction for your build, and obviously Chaos can give you some really good stuff if you're lucky. Okay, Backstab. Our attack is really too slow for Backstab to be plausible for us, so I'm not too worried about Pauper's Ambush. I really hate hiding Chamber Reward previews. Special damage as well, I'm not really thrilled about. Our special is, we're trying to not special here. We're trying to get damage off on our from our attack. So I'm going to re-roll these because I don't like any of them. Okay, now here is something more like it. More cast damage you love to see, more attack damage you love to see. More special damage, not so exciting. I would say we're generally inclined to more attack damage, since that bonus damage is getting multiplied by our status, and also we don't really want to have 3 encounters where we can't use our special, since it's pretty core to our build, whereas our cast we can do without it in Tartarus. So we'll go ahead and take Addled Strike. I'm very, very happy to end up in that. So we've got a hammer here and a Artemis. I do very much like ending up in Artemis. I was kind of hoping to see her a little bit later, since it'd be more likely that I can land her in the attack without a problem. But I mean, seeing her now means that she'll get an Upburn pull, so we'll see more of her later. So I'm not too worried. I think most hammer boons aren't that important for Rama. I don't think any of them really kind of dramatically change the way that the build works. So I'm very happy to put off our hammer. I don't think anything we see in a hammer is going to change our choices, and you're pretty much always going to see 2 hammers, so I've got no qualms about leaving the hammer behind for now. So fingers crossed for a high rarity attack boon, but even a low rarity attack boon would be pretty fine. This stuff, on the other hand, is not really what we're looking for. Dash Strike is pretty good, though, because we're pretty much always dash striking. We're basically never not dash striking when we're using the bow, or at least I'm not. So I'm pretty happy to take Hunter Dash even at common. I don't think there's a dash that we're desperate for here. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take that Hunter Dash, and yeah, all those big damage boosts, they're going to get multiplied by our debuff. So yeah, very happy to see stuff like that. So you can see when I'm doing my attack, I'm pretty much always doing it immediately after putting myself in the safest possible position from my, well, I say safest, the ideal position from my dash. So I'm basically never not doing a dash strike. So on some weapons, you're for sure trying to avoid doing dash strikes. Gilgamesh especially comes to mind, but yeah, when it comes to bow, sword as well, you're basically never not dash striking. Dash strike on sword is really powerful. It does the same amount of damage as the third hit in your 3-hit combo. This is for non-Excalibur swords, so yeah, dash strike boons on bow and dash strike boons on sword, very, very strong. Go ahead and grab these balls. Sneak is it's not a boss I like at the best of times, and in light of the slow charging aspect of Rama attack, I'm particularly perturbed by him here, especially since he's constantly ending up on the other side of stuff and just disappearing before I have a chance to... And he purges my debuff every time he teleports, so yeah, oh shit, and my cast chaos effect is still on, so yeah, just a really nasty fight here, but we'll get through it, just not have a good time with it. Alright, again, trying to avoid that stuff. Lightning Strike is exactly what we don't want here. That does absolutely nothing for us. Lightning Reflexes is nice. It'll add a bit of damage to our dash that we're not getting from Hunt's dash. We're not going to end up in Ares, so while Heaven's Vengeance is nice, it's not a priority here. But I think I would really like to have Zeus, because if we end up either in the Artemis Zeus duo or the Poseidon Zeus duo, we're getting a lot of opportunities to apply Jolted. So I'd really like to grab Zeus on our call here. I'm going to re-roll and see if I can see Zeus call. And look, there it is. We also changed into a epic Heaven's Vengeance. So if I did want to kind of put aside the prospect of Zeus, I could just take Heaven's Vengeance. Is there anything else that we really want? So we wouldn't mind getting more effects for our crit. So that would either be Aphrodite or Athena, but neither of them were getting a huge amount of effect off from our call because they require their status effect and deflections respectively, or opposite respectively. So yeah, very happy to end up in Zeus for our special, since that'll unlock those duos. And Zeus for our call. And Zeus's call is just generally very strong. It's a very high damage call that requires little effort and lets you sustain damage, your regular damage while you're doing it. So it's definitely the highest DPS call option. I'm still not completely sure that I'm not going to end up in Aphrodite attack, even though I would like to end up in Artemis attack. And the Aphrodite Zeus boon is also very strong, the automatically charging call. Okay, we've got our Chaos boon now. Alright. Repulse shot and chain shot. Spoiler alert, I'm picking twin shot here. Repulse shot is pretty bad. I think it was buffed recently, but I was kind of turned sufficiently off by the original one that yeah, I'm not really keen on taking a repulse shot. I don't think it'll still be good. Chain shot is okay, but it means that you can't kind of line up those really big shots that hit like 10 different guys and then do 10 times your debuff damage. So I'm going to be taking twin shot. When you're hitting twice, you're applying a debuff twice, and you're just doubling your regular attack damage to begin with. Twin shot does make using Rama quite difficult because the reduced range means that charging up to the range that you need is also slower. So it can be hard to land your attacks with twin shot, but the upside is just too good. Still haven't actually answered the question. Okay, yep, I think I have answered the question now, that we get our Rama debuff even when we don't completely pop the... even when we hit a blue heart. So yeah, very happy that we chose... damage control here. It's a very good choice of of heat in light of this development. So hopefully you're starting to see, I'm not really making much of an effort to show it off especially, but hopefully you're starting to see the impact that we're getting from that debuff. When I hit something, everything that I've applied the debuff to, which I'm trying to make basically everything, takes really quite a large amount of damage. And if I'm hitting multiple things with one attack, that just adds up to so much. Okay, not excited by any of this. Tempered Flourish does nothing for us. I mean, if I had to pick one of these, it would be Sunken Treasure. Hydraulic Might, since we're quite slow, we kind of take a while to wind up before we start doing damage in a room, so don't care about that at all. If I had to pick one of these, I'd pick Sunken Treasure, but fortunately, I don't have to pick one of these. I'm going to reroll, try and get Razor Shoals, or... Oh, okay, that's something too. I'm going to go ahead and take exclusive access in Tartarus. That's... you're never going to be unhappy to see that. I'm kind of I'm a little bit frustrated at seeing that, because seeing exclusive access in Tartarus seems like such a strong, such a strong pick, that I feel like it'll kind of overshadow the rest of the video and showcasing aspect of Rama's strengths. But rest assured that whatever disgusting things we're going to do in this video, we didn't need exclusive access to do them. It was just icing on the cake. Rarity is obviously really, really strong, but I've kind of been coming away from it a little bit. I don't find it quite as important as I used to. Static Discharge, very happy to see. Double Strike, if we do end up in getting Sea Storm, which we really want, will be great. But I think Static Discharge is even more important if we end up in Sea Storm, because we're not getting a status from our critical effect. So we really need 2 statuses to get our privileged status, which is plus 50% damage. That's going to be a lot of impact, and we will need our second status, and that'll be Jolted to make that happen. We can also end up in Razor Shoals, which will be another second status. But yeah, extra statuses is always good, and this will let us do it now. We're being forced into a shop here, which I don't love, since I don't have enough money to buy anything. This pot will not push us over the edge. Oh, it'll push us over the edge to the heart. Not to the boon, which is what we really want, but look, Centaur Heart, that's fine by me. 25 health, it's a good thing to buy.
Let's hear it.
Gold to Siphony. So yeah, what's it called? The privilege status is definitely going to be a bit more work to trigger in this from than it would normally. If I was redoing it from the start, knowing what I know now, I would have picked family favorite instead of privilege status. And to be honest, given that I know that I probably want to end up in Artemis attack, maybe picking family favorite from the start would have been correct. But I really don't like family favorite, and I didn't know that I was going to end up in Artemis dash, so I'm not unhappy with my previous choice. I don't think it was wrong. It's just, because I happened to end up in that Artemis dash that it's become a bit trickier. Okay, I'm going to grab the Adamant Arrowhead now, because we would really like to grab Artemis for our attack. Nothing to buy, and we got no money, so that is fine. We've still got one reroll left for our Artemis. When we find our Artemis boons, that's pretty nice. One thing that I really like about waiting until Asphodel to get the kind of the boon for your main ability is that it means that you can often get that boon with the Eurydice rarity boost. Now I know I was just bad-mouthing rarity before, but obviously more rarity is still better than less. So on your main effect, that extra rarity is really nice, and having a pretty decent chance of getting it either from getting a Yarn of Ariadne in the first shop in the transition corridor, or getting it from Eurydice is really nice. Flurry Cast and Greater Evasion are both pretty good, Greater Evasion especially, but I can't turn down Greatest Reflex, especially Epic Greatest Reflex. That's just too good to pass up. Now, we're not running into Eurydice before we see Artemis. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm not going to, you know, try and get to Eurydice before I let the Artemis Force happen. Even a common Artemis boon here will be very, very nice. So this is where Rama kind of starts being cool. All these enemies are sort of mixed up all over the place, but if I apply my debuff to them, I can go and take care of one of them and then they'll all die. It is important for the enemy that you're planning on attacking to have a decent amount of health, obviously, so you don't kill it before you manage to kill everything else with your debuff. Thanatos, that's pretty nice. Aspect of Rama can be a little bit slow, but I don't think it'll be slow enough to give us any problems with Thanatos. Oh, and our Hangover on our special is also doing great work popping the... nope, I fucked up that one. It's doing great work popping the blue hearts. It didn't occur to me that those Hangover ticks would be popping those, but given that we're just kind of getting incidental Hangover hits on our Ricochet targets, that's really nice for just clearing out those blue hearts on our secondary targets. Okay, and yep, look at this. Purple Deadly Strike. Very, very happy to see that. Oh, I need to take the heart from Thanatos. Alright, so yeah, Rama's just going to be really wiping the floor here now. Not enough money to be really excited about the shop, so we'll go ahead and take that Hermes. If we can get a bonus speed on our attack, that'd be so good, because it'd mean that we're not so vulnerable when we're charging our attack, and obviously it'll increase our DPS because we're getting more attacks out to begin with. Also seeing a Chaos there, which is interesting. I think Hospital doesn't seem to be showing us what color of Laurel we're getting, or maybe we're getting gold Laurels and I just can't tell. Okay, yeah, look at that. Swift Strike, Epic. Oh, I forgot that we had exclusive access, so we're getting everything at Epic Rarity, so that is, yeah, pretty good. Chaos is tempting here, but I really want Razor Shoals, or Sea Storm, I guess. So we're going to go ahead and take Poseidon. But yeah, I would like to reiterate that while getting these epic boons is really nice, Rama, it still works, even with common stuff. The damage numbers are high enough that you don't need those epic boons to make it work. I feel like I'm being overly defensive. Oh wow, what am I doing? I need my debuff on stuff. One thing that I struggle with Rama is that I really expect the attack to pop those projectiles, and it does not. So you can see I just ate a bunch of shit there. But what was I saying? Yeah, the damage numbers are so high that you don't actually need all these epic rarities. They're obviously nice, but there are definitely weapons where I would find it much more important to see that exclusive access. Things that rely on flat damage numbers, like you know, Zeus builds spring to mind. But yeah, it definitely has sealed the deal on this run, if it wasn't already. I like to think it was already, given that I'm not really having any trouble thus far, but you never know. Rama's a bit cumbersome. I could cause myself some problems later on somehow. Okay, 38 to 46, that's less than 10%, so we're going to take the Hunter Dash. Like I said, all of our attacks are going to be dash strikes, no reason not to take Hunter Dash. And yep, Key's going to be the choice here, it'll give us more Fated Authority. At some point down the track I'm going to stop doing runs that give me bounties, so Dark Regeneration is going to be more interesting to me, but for the time being we're just sticking to Chthonic Vitality, nice and simple, nice and easy. I do think though that Dark Regeneration is probably better than Chthonic Vitality if you're running the heat, I forget what it's called, but the heat measure that causes you to get less healing. It really has a huge impact on the regeneration of Chthonic Vitality. I'm going to take the shop here, even though I'm not quite capped, just because I'm feeling strong and I like boons. But yeah, I don't quite have 300 gold, so it's not the right correct choice, strictly speaking. But look, it's an item spoon. Very happy to see that. Critical effects deal more damage. Very happy with that. I don't think I really need a random. If that was a real pom, I'd buy it, but I don't really want a pom slice. But yeah, Chthonic Vitality. It just gets hurt too much by lasting consequences. The heat that affects your healing, and if you're getting the darkness from bosses instead of bounties, because you've already got the bounty for that heat level, you tend to be getting more healing from that plus the fountain than you need. So I think Dark Regeneration is definitely the right choice if you are running lasting consequences. But obviously, if you're running full stacks of lasting consequences, it does not matter because you don't get any healing from anything. Except your Death Defiances, which is why Stubborn Defiance is the right call for maxing out your lasting consequences. But I can't really see myself ever wanting to do that. I play this game a lot, but I'm never really going to be going into... I'm never going to be digging so deep into heat that I want to max out lasting consequences. I don't think. You never know. Again, I'm being a bit kind of nonchalant here with the combat here, but you know, that last Lerny phase, I took it out in one hit because I'm getting basically triple damage, more than triple damage, because I'm getting 2 shots with the bow, plus 60% on each shot, 60% true multiplier from the debuff from this aspect. Nothing we want to give up there. So what we really want now is ways to reliably trigger our... Oh wait, no, we're already reliably triggering privileged status because we've got Hangover, I forgot. I never did get a first hammer, did I? Which is kind of funny since I talked up, oh yeah, we'll definitely get 2 hammers. I will grab a hammer now just to see what we get offered. And yeah, we might still end up in 2 hammers, I don't know. The aspect of Rama is not the absolute best for dealing with the flame wheels, but if you just get a special off on them and then do a short range shot, that is enough. You just need to be a little bit quick on the trigger finger. And obviously you can do the same old apply debuff everywhere and then shoot something else, and that deals with them quite nicely too. Just they're fast enough that it can be a problem sometimes. Okay. Oh wait, I forgot we got double shot. That's our first hammer. Okay, charging up slower is really not what we need, especially since we've already got that kind of slowdown from our dual shot. We're getting offered repulse shot again. Point blank shot I think is correct here, especially since, you know, I'm doing a lot of point blank stuff anyway. I probably shouldn't be, but, you know, I've got dual shot, which moves us towards point blank anyway. But given that I know that repulse shot was buffed, I'm kind of tempted to give it a shot. So I'm going to do that, even though I know it's incorrect. Dionysus here, what could he give us? He could give us the duo with Artemis, so we'll go ahead and take Dionysus. I think I've managed to go this whole run without calling Artemis Athena by accident, so that's pretty good. Hang on, the pulse is only when you release? I thought it was continuous. Huh. Okay, well now it definitely feels like the incorrect choice of point blank. Although I wonder, does the pulse trigger the... The pulse doesn't even trigger the debuff, so... Man, that's uninspiring. I don't understand what the point of that is. Not at all. Premium Vintage is pretty nice here, but I think I'm going to take Positive Outlook. I might have talked about this before on video, but Positive Outlook is a lot better than it looks since you've got 3 Death Defiances, so most of your health is below 40% health. I'm going to take a pom here because our money's a bit tight. So yeah, Positive Outlook is definitely a lot better than it looks, and I probably would pick Positive Outlook over an equivalent rarity Athena damage resistance boon, just because that magnified because the numbers are higher and it's got that magnified effect in the Hades fight. The math may not actually be correct on that one, but Sue me. Need to remember to be getting that ruptured effect. Okay. Yeah, I think we're just going to keep it simple. Keep stacking damage up on that attack. Alright, so the double is interesting. Alternatively, what could Artemis offer us? Obviously the duo with Dio would be nice. Support fire doesn't do much for us. We've already got clean kill, I'm pretty sure. Pressure points is nice-ish, and lightning rod is also nice. Lightning rod's especially nice since that lets us apply more jolted. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take the Artemis room here, since I'm pretty sure we can't get duos in that double boon room. I was recently corrected and it seems like you can get legendaries in those rooms, but I'm still not convinced that you can get duos, so... Because I've definitely never been offered a duo in one, so... Yeah, I'm going to swing for the duos here. And like, you know, I don't think we're desperately in need of more power here, so I'm more interested in the extra spice from the duos. And look, this is exactly the duo we were looking for, more crit chance. Okay, Patroclus, I mean, he could certainly give us healing or damage, but we don't need the Death Defiances, and that's really his strongest offering, so I'm going to take Artemis here. Dude, it's been so long since you beat me. I don't know what you're expecting here. Now the shorter range. Ooh. Okay, we're going to throw out a Boldy, which I completely forgot that we had to. Oh, I didn't hit him, damn it. To buff our health up. I would prefer not to lose a Death Defiance here, especially after I shit-talked him before, but I don't think it'll be the death knell of the run or anything. I think just our hammers are particularly ill-suited for dealing with extreme measures Asterius. But we still do 1 trillion damage, so no complaints there. Oh, I thought I was skipping that because it was plot dialogue, but it's actually just duo dialogue. So what is this duo? Mirage Shot. Oh, that's pretty nice. It's not where we were fishing for, but double casts when we've got a level 3 Flood Shot. Pretty nice. Very nice for clearing out rooms full of little enemies and sticks, where our slow and ponderous attack is not so good at it. Also nice for knocking away these flame wheels. Teleporting flame wheels. Just what I needed. Oh my god. Yeah, this room's a bit obnoxious. Teleporting flame wheels are not my favourite thing, especially not with a slow weapon like this. Bad Influence... I want to like Bad Influence more than I do, just because it's hard to keep it active in the Hades fight, and it's kind of a self-defeating thing because, you know, you kill the stuff that's Hangover Afflicted and then you need to get Bad Influence on. I think it's still the right pick here. I'm not too worried about hit points, despite the fact that our hit points are really low, and Numbing Sensation doesn't affect attack speed, so not too exciting to me. Premium Vintage may actually be a good pick here because our health is in a bad space, but I'm going to take Bad Influence because I like big numbers. We're going to take the health here. So we'll definitely be grabbing the pre-Champions shop, so we should hopefully be able to get our health topped up there. Also seeing a Well of Charon there, which is pretty nice. Oh, forgot to pop the blue hearts. We've got a Mirage Shot as well, which should be able to do good stuff to these guys. Though I do constantly need to remember those blue hearts are on things. I don't run with damage control very often. I find it on most weapons quite frustrating, so I'm not the most practiced in dealing with it. Oop. I'm going to use a Sisyphus here, just because I'd like to use another one in the next room, just to keep our health topped up. Oh, don't do that. Okay. It is nice to have that kind of instant damage from the special to stop these guys from regenerating when our attack is so slow. Yeah, Hydrolite, that will keep us topped up. Money, not that exciting since we can always already afford to buy up the shop, but I guess savings for sticks. It's important to note that the debuff damage only affects the damage you do from your attack, so Rama isn't ever, you know, like, it's not ever a cast build or anything like that, or, you know, a dash damage build or a flat damage build. It's always going to be a attack build. Some people do it as a special build just because they like the machine gun, but it's much too weak for me. Ready for the darkness. Yeah, this is probably the pre-champions shop, so we're going to grab this just to make sure our health is in good shape before we start. So grab that. What's Dio got for us? Strong drink, peer pressure. Peer pressure will make it easier, I think, to keep up bad influence, so I think peer pressure is going to be our pick here. Strong drink's, you know, it's pretty nice. We've still got 2 triggers on it, which will be plus 10% damage, but I'd like to try and make the bad influence thing work, even though I think it's not that good. Positive outlook. Oh, that's nice. So I think Rama's usually pretty good at killing these guys fast. There's a, you know, a 2-person boss fight. We're getting extra value on that debuff, especially if we can hit both of them with the same hit. Not mandatory, of course. We do very well even without that. You'll notice here that I'm not really landing many power shots. You just don't have time with Aspect of Rama to land power shots most of the time, even though they are very strong. Maybe if you had some kind of hyper-defensive setup, I don't know exactly what that would be, but some kind of hyper-defensive setup, you could kind of sit still and land more of those power shots, but not for me. I don't know how to do that. So yeah, you see here we don't have nearly enough time to get our power shots out, where a regular bow would be easily able to land power shots there. Okay, so for the for sticks, Acorn and Tooth are both valid choices here. I think I'm just going to take Acorn here just for variety's sake, since I usually take Tooth. As long as, you know, you're not taking small hits, then Acorn is pretty much, you know, equal to or better than an extra Death Defiance in the Hades fight. It's obviously a lot worse if you're taking hits from the small enemies, though, and given that we're quite a slow weapon, we probably will be taking hits from the smaller enemies, but that's okay. Okay, yeah, we will start with the Artemis. Very interested to see if she can give us any of those duos we were talking about. We'd really like the Zeus duo still, just because getting those extra jolted effects will be super nice from Lightning Rod. And seeing Poseidon is also pretty nice there, because we'll have a chance of seeing Sea Storm, which will be another way of applying those jolteds. Mirage Shot is really nice here with the blue hearts, since it means that we're popping the blue hearts with 1 cast rather than 2, so we're getting 2 full casts plus the Mirage's damage on everything in a room. Flood shot is it's just so good in sticks. It just, you know, in any one of these transitional rooms, it'll hit everything in the room pretty much all the time and do a bunch of knockback damage to them as well. I was talking previously about how I like to try and dodge the elite encounters in sticks by, you know, trying to make the Seder attack appear during the elite encounters. After doing some more elite encounters recently, there is always the danger of tiny vermin, but I don't mind tiny vermin too much now, and to be honest, I think elite encounters are probably easier than non-elite encounters most of the time for me in sticks. So I've kind of come around on trying to dodge those elites. Hunter's Mark, I'm a little bit wary of it since we'll be doing a lot of hits with our special, but I'm still happy to take Hunter's Mark here because it's, you know, when it's good, it's really good. Otherwise I would have taken pressure points. I forgot what I was talking about just before though. It'll come back to me maybe. Oh yeah, the elite rooms. Yeah, I've found that most of the time the elite rooms are actually easier. I take less damage in the elite rooms and they're quicker than the regular rooms, with the exception of tiny vermin. So yeah, I don't avoid the elite rooms anymore now. The reason I'm taking the con rooms is just because it's got the they've got the boons in this particular case. So I'm not really showing off that attitude here. But rest assured, I am tending to favour taking the elite rooms these days. Alright, and here's the sack. Oh, look at that sea storm. The last possible moment. Alright, so we never did get the Artemis one, but we are jolted for days. We still have a chance at the Artemis one, actually. We can't afford that and Poseidon, but I think this is what we want. We're not really doing a lot of casts. Our casts are kind of secondary crowd control, so I think pressure points is going to be our pick here. And we'll just take these extra things here. Yeah, dash attack damage. Oh, I thought we could afford both. But that's alright, we'll clean through Hades pretty easily, I think.
It's kind of nice out here. I shall give you no quarter, boy.
One thing that is definitely very nice about damage control is it has basically zero impact on bosses. Obviously, Hades does summon guys, and it has impact there, but even so. Now, I need to remember I've got that bad influence, so it's worth maybe like trying to keep those skulls alive to keep bad influence up. I don't know. I guess the problem is we're kind of naturally going to be killing the stuff that has hangover because it'll also have our debuff on it. So that's kind of a non-go. Didn't think of that when I first took bad influence, but it's fine. Obviously, we're still not in any kind of a dangerous spot here. I should probably be spacing these casts out for my status application to keep privilege status up, because you see privilege status is already gone now because I was relying on the basically, you know, our cast is the source of both of our second debuffs after hangover, so I really shouldn't be just spamming it out like that. Yeah, we've got enough health and death defiances that we can just grind out Hades there. No need to even dodge his lasers.
Boy, you speak. You fought well.
So yeah, that's aspect of Rama. Yeah, like I said, I feel like this run was maybe a bit too cruisy to to show it off. But Rama, it's kind of a cruisy weapon. Like it's not always easy, but when it's strong, it's really strong. And yeah, I just find it really relaxing as well to just, you know, shoot one guy and have the whole room fall apart. So yeah, definitely one of my favorite aspects, even if I don't think it's necessarily innately, you know, one of the strongest, because it's a bit slow. Anyway, thanks again for joining me. I'll see you next time.